Welcome to Tabletop Arcanum. I'm Justin, and this is Arkham Horror Return to the Night of the Zealot Part 3, The Devourer Below, for the League of Extraordinary Investigators League. Season 4, I think we're on there for them. So, Finn has gone through Part 1, Part 2. Now we're going to take Finn Woodwards through Part 3. We're going to see how this goes. I do not think it's going to go well. I've upgraded my card with only one. I had 4 experience. I upgraded with 1 card. I got Charisma. My goal is to hopefully have Leo DeLuca and Lita out at the same time. So let's take a look at the overhead and dive into this, right? So I have the 4 Agents of X here. I'm going to roll D4, see which one we go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I had giant die, I would probably use it. That is a 4. So there's our agents. All these other agents are not ours to deal with this time. I got the 10 Arkham Woods collected between the original 6, the new 4, and we get 4 of them. And there goes the rest. So when it comes to this, we have Ancient Evil, Striking Fear, the new ghouls, and the new Dark Cult all gathered, plus the scenario stuff. So all that will get nice and mixed up in here. Cultists who got away. We had only gotten 2, so 4 cultists are unfortunately running amok, so we have 2 Doom on our agenda already to start with. That's 2 out of 4, so part of the reason why I don't think this is going to be good. Elder Thing token is now added to our cast bag for extra goodness. And it is not past midnight. We actually did call it properly at the end of Midnight Masks, but the Ghoul Priest is still alive, so here he is, going right into that encounter deck. So, joy, joy, joy. Let's see what's going to actually happen out of this. Alright, I think that's pretty well mixed up. Counter deck's ready to go. Finn is going to be as ready as he's going to be. Our 4 woods locations. Now, Finn starts at the main path, which is connected to each other woods location, and has that resign effect. If there's nothing we can do to stop them, you must flee from the woods, leaving Arkham to its grisly fate. I may end up using that. I don't know if I've ever actually gotten the Coward's Way Out ending, but we'll see. Alright, so got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting hand, I've got the 1 physical trauma because of scenario 1. We got our 5 resources. I've got the 3 markers of actions for me, plus a neutral marker just to remember I have the bonus action to evade if I want. Let's see, Paranoia was already there, so that gets redrawn. I do not need 2 switchblades. I'm going to keep the other 3. We'll just mulligan 2. Not bad. I was hoping Leo would pop up, or even Lita. I'm gonna need some friends in this terrible, terrible place. All right, that's all mixed up. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and read our story. So after a frantic nightmare search through Arkham, you have tracked down and questioned several members of the cult, several being 2. Your findings are disturbing. They claim to worship a being known as Umloth, or however you want to traditionally spell that. A monstrous entity from another realm. You are able to confirm much of Lita's story. The cult is agitated over the destruction of the ghoul lair. However, a surprising detail also turns up. The one who invaded the lair and set the night's events in motion was no other than Lita Chandler herself. You're not sure why this important detail was omitted from her story. Did she only tell you what was necessary to draw you into her conflict? But in another light, she seems to be fighting to protect the city of Arkham from a terrible menace. The final piece of the puzzle was written in a journal possessed by one of the cultists. The dark ritual was performed deep within the woods of South Arkham that very night. According to the journal, the ritual's completion will open the gate and bring forth the cult's dark master into the world. If the cult is not stopped, Lita warns, there is a possibility that Umbrel's vengeance will consume all in its path. Frightened but determined to stop the ritual, you head into the woods. Bump, bump, bump. Alright. Get a little setup for the act and agenda. So, the Arkham Woods. From interrogating members of the conspiracy within Arkham, you have learned that they're performing a rite of vengeance in response to the destruction of one of their master's lairs. You have entered the woods outside Arkham to try to stop them. The woods seem unnaturally cold and filled with a deadly silence. Investigating the trail. Evidence you gathered here has led you to the woods south of Arkham, where you believe the ritual to summon a being called Umbroth is about to take place. Stealing your resolve, you set forth deeper into the woods, hoping to find the site of this ritual. If we can stop the ritual, that'd be great. And I don't know if Finn's ready to die trying. We'll find out. So, that's our setup. We're on our main path. We got 4 woods locations, and our goal is 3 clues at this point. So, not going to find any on the main path, but that doesn't mean Finn isn't ready. We're going to spend a couple resources, get field work out. We're going to spend another action, spend another pair of resources, get Lucky Cigarette Case out, and we're going to burn emergency cash already and get 3 resources as our third and final action. Because I don't have a lot of time, but I definitely need to get some stuff going before we get moving. So that's investigator phase. Monster phase, there's nothing yet. So upkeep, Finn's good. Grab a resource, grab a card. We'll reset our actions. Throw a Happy Doom out here and get our first encounter card for Umbroth's Wrath. Test Revelation Willpower 5 for each point of hit. This card will take 1 damage and horror. So this is one of Finn's worst skills. This is a 1 versus 5. And I don't have a way to deal with this, really, right now. So, we're just going to say Chaos Bag, be gentle. 1 to 5. And that's a sign for the times. Auto fail. Yeah, auto fail. First pull, first round. Yeah. So, auto fail is treated as 0 when it comes to tests like this. So, 5. I have to choose and discard from our hand, or take 1 damage and horror. Well, 1, 2, 3. That'll mitigate 3. At least I had 3 cards in hand. That does mean I have to take 2 and 2 for the ones I could not discard. That's the Doom phase. On to the player phase. I have no cards in hand, so this is going to go swimmingly. Let's left for loot and start with the left path. This is the Corpse-Ridden Clearing. That's a fun place to go. Starts with a clue. Each enemy in this location cannot take more than 1 damage from an attack performed against it. 3 Shroud, 1 clue. first action, and now as a reaction after moving to a location, if that location has at least one clue on it, exhaust field work and get +2 for the next skill test to perform there. Well, we're going to try and do an investigate, because it's the only way forward. So I have a 4, 5, 6 with field work, and that brings us to 3 over skull. Skull in this scenario is number of monster enemies in play, which is 0, so -0, so I'm 3 over. Since I passed the skill test by 2 or more, I'm going to do Lucky Cigarette Case, get a card draw on this, get that clue. At least something's working here. And that was our second action. The third action, I'm going to go ahead and play that card I drew. That was Lone Wolf. I flipped that, spent that. There we go. And that was action 3 out of 3. So monster phase, nothing. End of, so upkeep. Get those. Get that. Get my card. Ready things. So Doom gets added in our Mythos phase, which is our 4th Doom. So we're ready on Agenda 2. Throughout the woods, shrieking cry of echoes from somewhere deeper in the forest, a score of hideous voices answer the call. The inhuman baying of hounds and an articulate, repeating singular name. Umberloth. 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 Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the deck and discard cards until the top monster is discarded. Spawn the enemy at the main path, and then place 1 Doom on said enemy. So, our 1 card gets shuffled in here. And now we discard cards until we get a monster. Hopefully we'll discard some really nasty things first. Oh, there's the Wrath, and there's a monster. So we're pretty much exactly where we were without shuffling that in. And this monster gets a Doom. This is a Grave Eater Ghoul. He's going to be fun to deal with. The chanting builds in intensity, echoing throughout the cold night air. The sparse clouds coalesce above Arkham Woods, blotting out the faint light of the stars. Each enemy gets +1 fight and +1 evade. You know, swell. Alright, that was Doom. That was the advancement. Now for an encounter card. Cool. The Ghoul Priest shows up. He does not have any spawn mechanic anymore, so he's just going to show up and automatically engage with Mr. Finn. I'm going to shove some of this forward. Give myself a little more space down here for me. So he's engaged. The Ghoul Grave Eater is still at the main path. Now, of course, each enemy at this location cannot take more than 1 damage from each attack performed against it. So the Ghoul Priest, while in the Corpse Woods, is just not a good place to be. And I guess that was that. So my phase. Started my turn. Lone Wolf will trigger. Give me some resources, but nothing really to do with it. I'm going to first we're going to pray. So he gets health and evade. He's at 5 evade. I'm at 4 evade. Ooh, boy, this is not going to be pretty. But I gotta try. We're going to use Finn's free evade. He has retaliate, but he does not have... I'm trying to blink on the keyword. It doesn't exist in this scenario, but the evade equivalent of retaliate. Alright, let's go with this token. That's a -3, so that's a miss. Let's do it again. Because I gotta get rid of this Ghoul Priest somehow. +1. this is actually the one thing we kind of needed. So with that +1, we can evade him. So he's going to hang out there. Of course, he's going to hunt later, but for now, he's just going to take a dirt nap. We're going to move to the main path, which engages him. I'm going to trigger field work. I actually can't trigger field work. It does not have a clue on it. Never mind. So Grave Eater might be tough. So that was action 2 official, 3rd because I did the free evade on him. And I guess we're just going to have to go for broke. I was counting on field work when I probably shouldn't have. But we're going to backstab the Grave Eater. Grave Eater, so that cost me 3. This is using my agility opposed to my strength, so this is a 4 versus its 2. And our final action, so hopefully this will work. I'm going to play off a Doom, so that'll help. But he gets the +1, so there it is, auto fail. I don't even need to do the math. I just failed. Cool, monster phase. So monsters, hunters would activate. There are no active hunters other than him, who is exhausted, so he's going to hang out right where he is. Next then is the 1/1 damage coming off of the Corpse Eater, or Grave Eater here. So 1/1, Grave Eater takes a chunk out of Finn Edwards. After he attacks, you discard a card at random from hand. I have no cards, so I guess that doesn't happen, because that's a small blessing in my little world here. So it is upkeep phase. Actions, I'll get my card, I'll get my resource. Ghoul Priest is ready to run. And I think that does it for upkeep. With this phase, we'll get our first Doom out on Agenda 2 and get our terrible card. Chill from Below, Revelation, Willpower 3. For each point you fail by, you must discard a card at random from hand. For each card you cannot discard, will take a damage. Alright, I'm going to dig around in here. You know, I might as well just commit the smuggled goods I drew. Gives me a +1, so I'm at 2 versus 3. Hopefully I can just pass this somehow. Nope, 3. And that is the end of the game. That is how fast this one went for me. I expected to last maybe a little bit longer, but that is 3 damage for straight up from the Chill Below. So Finn Edwards is not a fan of the Devourer Below, by the way. He has one will, and there's way too many will tests in here. So Finn Edwards is officially knocked unconscious and defeated via damage. So here we go. Too frightened to face her fate, Lita flees into the night. She soon realizes she has failed, and Umbros' vengeance will pursue her wherever she goes. The creature's tendrils spread throughout the city of Arkham, searching for her. It lurks in the darkness of every corner, tugging at the seams of reality, but Lita is nowhere to be found. The creature dwells in the shadow to this day, searching and killing. We will record that Arkham has succumbed to Umbros' terrible vengeance. Each surviving investigator is killed, and the investigators lose. This went a lot faster than I thought. And yeah, that was a horrible death. 3 rounds? Yeah, it lasted 3 rounds. So, for my reviewer, you lucked out. This is a fast review for you. If I played anything wrong, let me know. I don't think so. Had it not been for the 1 physical trauma I started with, that would have kept me around for 1 more round. But yeah, no, this was it. So, thanks.